And then as soon as you know, it's gonna be winter break, my birthday, spring semester, graduation. Hey! I get it if you're in a shitty state, don't get me wrong. But if you don't have the money, if your parents don't have the money, why are you going out of state to go to college? I thought this was a liberal arts school. Since when do we keep inviting racists to the school? And who's in charge of that? Like, did we just ignore what happened when the students were protesting for Palestine and y'all expelled them and said that they couldn't graduate? Are we just forgetting that? At the same time, why are some athletes making more money than professors?
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. Love yours. Thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
Jumbo everyone, welcome or welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about, is the University of Minnesota okay as a former student? So without further ado, let's get started. Like the title says, as a former student, I did used to go to the University of Minnesota. This was the only school that I applied to when it came to going to college because I kind of already had my mind set on where I wanted to go, so I really just only applied to the U. At first, I originally started at the U for political science, but just like all freshmen going into college, you don't actually know what you want to do. So therefore, right after I took my first political science class, I said, baby girl, we're not doing this. Then I switched to African American and African Studies, and once I saw that a lot of history classes also double dipped with African American and African Studies, I decided to just double major in both of them. So to make it clear, I am a former student from the University of Minnesota, double majoring in African American and African Studies plus history. Keep that in mind. This is also a lot of the times why you see my YouTube videos structured the way that they are and why I talk about the things that I do. I kind of see history being connected and everything because history is connected, and a lot of people don't like to think about that. But with going to the most popular school in Minnesota, there is going to be faults. Starting off with the first one, I thought by switching my major into something that I'm passionate about, African American and African Studies, I thought I was gonna meet my people, my professors. These professors hated my ass. Like, what do you say fuck me for?
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
I'm not gonna name names, but it's very telling in the Rate My Professors what they be saying about this professor. One specifically, I will never forget, and I have Kai to witness. Kai was my witness. So basically the class that I was taking was African American history 1865 to present. So right after slavery, once the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. So that's kind of like the scope that we were doing. There was a teacher, a new teacher, who was a PhD student, and all I have to say is good things about that woman. She's the one who taught the policing in the 20th century. Chef's fucking kiss. That's the class that I talk about. But she was a co-teacher with the teacher that hated me. So the teacher that hated me, she taught the first half of the semester, and then after midterms, it swapped to the other professor, right? Throughout the first half of the semester, that professor hated my ass. Any opportunity she got, she would tear into me. Yeah. And like when we would have to do office hours or one-on-ones for the papers that we write, she would tear my ass up. Like no actual good points. I'd say something, she's like, actually no, so if you look here, then she would go into, well, I'm a historian. Okay, well, you don't have to be an asshole about it. Sorry. And like it's such like a wide spectrum. Like some students, you look on her Rate My Professor, some students are like, I don't understand the misconception. This was the best teacher I've ever had. And then other people are like, she was a fucking bitch, basically. Like she doesn't know how to talk to you and her ego is too fucking high. So that was already one professor I had to deal with. Then I had to deal with another professor for the class that I took, which was race, gender, class, and something or whatever. And it was basically talking about how all the intersectionalities when it came to race, basically, or life in general in America, right? So I took that class, and that's why I made my video on the one drop rule and not quite white, and like literally that paper that I wrote 8 down. So for her, like she was just coming for me. I'm like, do you have anything positive to say? And I was actually trying to find the emails, but then my U of M email was deleted, so I can't find it anymore. So that actually breaks my heart. But yeah, so that's where I'm just like, you would think that I'm paying all this money to go to a school that talks about equity and diversity, but y'all barely even have black professors for those classes. And then when you do, they're fucking bitches. And then on top of that, because they can get away with it, you have a white man teaching slavery in the making of America. Not to also mention, that's the class where the white girl had the confidence to say nigga to me. Like, what are we doing? The U of M loves preaching diversity, equity, all that bullshit, but let's be real. They care more about entertainment than actually the professors that are helping the students learn. They don't give a fuck about students and the teachers and professors. They could care less, and we're gonna be talking about that today. So the main reason why I decided to switch was the girl saying nigga to me was a very big factor, because once she said that to me, I ended up going to the back of class and researching ASL Interpreting and St. Kate's and how to actually transfer to be able to pursue my passion, which is ASL Interpreting. So that is why I decided to switch, because once I got to my junior year and I was like looking at my major, I'm like, I fucking hate my classes. I cannot imagine writing a capstone and then like, y'all, what would I be doing right now? Like, what job would I have? That's what I'm saying. Like, if I wasn't on my shit when it came to content and whatever, like, you know, like I'm trying to be right now, like I would just serve. I would have went to college, granted, graduated debt free, thank God, but I would have went to college having to go get my master's to even work in anything remotely that I want to work in. Then when I think about even going out to Howard or Gallaudet for some reason, they don't have the majors that I want. So that's where I'm just like, why? But yes, every single day, I am so grateful to my intuition that I transferred schools, because as much as I'm like, damn, I hate doing homework sometimes, but at least it's doing homework that I love and I actually love what I'm learning about. So we're going into week 6 of school and I'm actually like, whoa, this semester's kind of like, and then as soon as you know, it's gonna be winter break, my birthday, spring semester, graduation. Hey! I can't, y'all don't understand, like I can't wait to graduate. I've said so many times that I cannot live my full potential without actually graduating. So anyways, first things first, what the hell is going on with those dorms? What is going on? So apparently, I think it's on like Super Block, which is basically like a whole bunch of dorms right next to each other. I think it's Middlebrook or whatever. The dorms are flooding. Yeah, the dorms are flooding. And of course I'm gonna be including video footage and all that stuff in here. But imagine paying all that money to go to this school and your dorm floods the first week of school and you're receiving no compensation. Oh, I'm sick to my stomach. I'm sick to my stomach. Because could you imagine? Hey, no, thank you. No, thank you. So I want to go over the prices of the University of Minnesota right now, because when I used to go there, I would roughly pay, like after all my tuition and scholarships and all that stuff, I'd roughly be paying like $6,000 per semester. But of course I had scholarships, I had grants, so everything was covered, and I gotta, oh, that was the one thing I will say about the University of Minnesota, the refunds. Oh my God, y'all, I was living fucking large. And then don't get me started about when I was going to school during COVID. They literally would just give you a random like $2,000. I was like, let me pay my rent. Like, thank you very much. But now, especially that there's a new president and new management, whatever. Hey, if you're a commuter student, $28,000. If you're a resident, $37 a year. That's not including summer, because you got to get the fuck out when it comes May, especially if you're in the dorms. Or if you want to tack that onto your tuition, you're more than welcome. Go ahead. And baby, if you are an out-of-state student, you are paying $67,000 roughly a year just to go here. I will never understand. I get it if you're in a shitty state, don't get me wrong, but if you don't have the money, if your parents don't have the money, why are you going out of state to go to college? And this is why I be saying, like, people just be going to college because like they think they have to. Babes, you don't have to go to college. It's okay to be a little bit older in college to know what you actually want to do. There's people in my program that are in their 30s and 40s and we don't give a fuck. It's actually super nice to have somebody that's older in the program and that y'all are going through the same thing, because you can ask them about life advice or what their life is like and see like, damn, like we really rocking in this shit together. Like, it doesn't matter how old somebody is. Like, that's why I'm like, why do y'all think that you have to go to college right at 18, not even knowing what you want to do for a major, and then you're $80K in debt after you graduate? You're setting yourself up for failure if you're not going to college to get a degree that you can actually make money off of. And you're telling me the U of M, basic ass U of M, I understand. I used to like hold the U of M on like a status symbol. If you can see, like I've been had this U of M blanket in a lot of my videos. I used to go to the U. I used to like love the U. First of all, I still have a U backpack because I refuse to buy another backpack just because I go to a different school. I don't give a fuck. But what I'm trying to say, and it's my favorite color, but what I'm trying to say is that like this basic ass school is too expensive to be going to be like dealing with all the stuff that we're going to be talking about now. Again, moving down. I thought this was a liberal arts school. Since when do we keep inviting racists to the school? And who's in charge of that? What's going on? I went to the school when they did it. They literally invited Amy Coney Barrett to the University of Minnesota, a liberal arts school.
When hate comes to our campus, stand up, fight back. Okay, say it like you mean it. What are we gonna do when hate comes to our campus? Stand up, fight back. What are we gonna do? Stand up, fight back. What are we gonna do?
Why we are protesting today is because Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett has done many harmful things to marginalized peoples, and it's hypocritical for the university, who prides itself on diversity and inclusion, to invite someone who has harmed every single marginalized community in some way, shape, or form. And we are hoping that the university apologizes, recognizes their wrongdoing, and works towards inviting people who represent the student body.
Talking about inclusion and then inviting her, it's also part of a bigger problem, right? It's part of a systemic issue.
I think people are really fed up with the way that the Supreme Court runs and the way the judicial system has been, and especially just the democratic aspect of it, and the fact that we don't really vote for these people and they do represent us and make such important decisions for us. And things like affirmative action affect people on campus a lot.
I am here, the probably top reason is what the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade means for women in this country and how it sends us back. The whole idea of being the victim of sexual assault and then wanting to relinquish a child for adoption that has come from sexual assault seems ludicrous. That would be the first reason. The second reason really has to do with, she, to me, is very racist. I'm also a person of color. I come from a traditionally marginalized community. Overturning of affirmative action, if something like that needs to be fixed, fix it. Don't take it away. Because people like me, we need that. We need
Our
that.
brilliant chant leader courageously stood up, and so we chanted, and we said it was right.
To the side, please. It is ordered that this disruptive behavior cease. The university revokes any claim of right of individuals to continue to disrupt the event.
That abortion is a human right. That affirmative action is important and necessary in our country. And that the Supreme Court does not speak for the people.
This is obviously a protest against Amy Coney Barrett, but I would say there's two distinct messages that SDS is trying to get across, that we're all trying to get across. There's one to Amy Coney Barrett, and there's one to the university, to University of Minnesota. The first one against Amy Coney Barrett is that we do not abide by hate. We do not, the Supreme Court that she's part of does not represent us. The way that she votes does not represent us. Her beliefs do not represent us. And we're just trying to show clear and obvious dissent to her bad political opinions. The message that we have to the university is, why do you keep platforming people like her? Why do we continue to platform like what you're going to hear from the speakers? Why do we keep platforming people that ostensibly promote hate, promote division, make decisions that do not represent the people? These conservative, right-wing, think tank figureheads. Why do we keep platforming them when that does not represent your student body? When your student body does not desire for those people to come to campus? We really need a more diverse voice on campus. The university talks big about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but the actions that they take, the speakers that they bring, do not reflect that.
So do you really think it's even surprising that they invited Turning Point USA and that all the Trumpies, oh my gosh. I don't even know if I want to speak on Charlie Kirk, because that is already, you niggas already got my video taken down for joking about it. And you can't even try to empathize with people that empathize with Charlie Kirk, but I might do it because a bitch likes to yap about controversial things. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it is so embarrassing seeing the people just lined up and talking about, this was supposed to be a talk between me and Charlie Kirk, now to talk about Charlie Kirk. Get the fuck out my face. And can we stop calling this man a martyr? He's not a martyr. He did nothing of significance to the US but go to college campuses and spew hate.
With that in mind, would you please join me in praying to our Father of the USA? We believe that Charlie was most likely the most powerful and influential martyr of his generation.
This event was originally supposed to be a conversation between me and Charlie. Now it will be a conversation about Charlie.
Hey guys, my sister and I are currently headed to the U of M campus to see the TPUSA event live. Charlie obviously can't make it, but we're showing out. This is his first TPUSA event since his passing, so we're really excited and honored to be there. Let's go check it out.
Jumbo everyone, it is editing Reese currently, and while I'm editing this and just watching back the videos, look at the people who are, going to that event. What are the people? I also just want to say I feel like Minnesota is a fake blue state. I say that why? Because if you really think about it, the only densely populated places are Minneapolis and the Twin Cities. Everywhere else in Minnesota can be considered a sundown town and is racist. Yes, there are sundown towns in Minnesota. And as much as I say, yes, I like being in Minnesota because I like my rights and I wouldn't want to go to the South, I'm being serious about that. But at the same time, Minnesota is a fake blue state. The only reason why we vote blue is because of the Twin Cities. Everywhere else in Minnesota is rural. So what I want to say to that is, it's not surprising that this is going on at the University of Minnesota. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that you guys claim that you're a liberal arts college and this is the second time that you have invited a Republican racist person to the university, It also just proves to me that y'all actually don't give a fuck about diversity, equity, and inclusion because you pull stunts like this. So that's all I have to say. All the palm-colored people who are going to those events and don't see the issue on why marginalized communities are acting the way that they do and why there's even a protest, you're the problem. What if this was, y'all remember Caitlyn Bennett, whatever the fuck her name was, the girl that pooped herself, that would go to college campuses? So if she got killed or shot for talking about this shit, then she would be a martyr? No, it doesn't work like that. So I'm so fucking sick of seeing these white people show up and show out for a man that spewed hate about everyone but white people. Please, please, actually continue to show yourself so I know who the fuck to stay away from. Then there's all the protests going on. First of all, the Handmaid's Tale costume, y'all ate the fuck up. Y'all ate the fuck up because that's genuinely what is happening. All those girls, y'all want to be fucking raw all the time, but when it comes time to get an abortion, you can't because you're forced to have it now. And that's gonna be a whole nother video that I'm gonna be talking about because people think being a baby mama in your 20s is cute. That shit's not fucking cute. So that's where I'm like, you guys look dumb. As white women, of course, going and defending a man that literally has talked about you not having rights. Literally said that if his 10-year-old daughter were to get raped, he would force her to have that child. Are you kidding me? But all right, who is in charge of booking these events? I'm dead ass because I get political views and I get opposing views and all that other stuff, but don't fucking label yourself a liberal arts college and force everyone. And what is that 1001 where it's CLA first year experience, how we have to learn about not even microaggressions, but just like racism and discrimination and all that stuff because you guys are such an equitable school, but here you are inviting literally racist ass fucking people to the school. Like, did we just ignore what happened when the students were protesting for Palestine and y'all expelled them and said that they couldn't graduate? Are we just forgetting that? The fuck? So yeah, this school, we've known this school has been racist. I don't know why it's taking us so long to like open our eyes, but this school has never been down for black people or any person of color when it comes to that school. Like, let's be fucking real. And also the classism of the University of Minnesota. Okay, this is like what I kind of see like the totem poles as is you have the first gen students who don't have any really direction, like they, you know, got decent enough grades in high school to be able to go to college, but they're gonna end up having to take out thousands and thousands of dollars in loans, and they don't know anything about financial literacy, and these are the people who end up drowning in student debt because they don't understand literacy when it comes to money. They'll also probably have 2 to 3 jobs to try to survive during school, and they're gonna be looking for scholarships to try to pay off their tuition as quick as possible. Now you have the second tier, which is essentially people who did decent enough in school, going to college, but their parents are partially helping them, not paying everything. They still have to take out thousands of dollars in loans, look for scholarships, and also be able to have a job during school. Then you have tier 3. This is where their parents pay for everything. They make sure that, you know, they don't have to have a job during school. They can focus on school and they're not going to be in any debt because their parents can actually afford for them to go to school. Now you have tier 4. This is the athletes, the students who are getting paid to go to school. And don't get me wrong, I know how much money the football team, basketball team, volleyball team, I know how much money that shit racks up. At the same time, why are some athletes making more money than professors? Why are some athletes making more money than student teachers? Like, that's where I'm just like, just for playing a sport, you making money like that. At that point, fuck the NFL, fuck the NBA, you're already making money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's where it's like, the one quote that I always go back to is when in Euphoria, Christopher McKay, he's like, there's like a 0.2% I'm making it to the fucking pros. Like, so that's where I'm like, I'm looking at these schools and I'm like, kind of the same too. So it's like, you might as well rack up your fucking money for the 5 years that you can play during school, or I think it's 6, because whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. And then you have, even on top of that, the admin who are racking in the fucking money, aka the president, the football coach, anyone associated with just being at the top and being able to make that much money, the dean, like, they're racking in fucking money. Yet, y'all can't pay the service workers? Now there's a strike?
You know, I've been trying to just get as many people out here as possible, hoping for the best, and it's exceeded my expectations. The energy has been so incredible.
Workers do have the power, and we can get what we need to live and thrive, which is what we all deserve. We just need to stand together, especially in our current political climate. They are very against the workers, and we are all workers. There's Teamsters who are cooks, there are janitors, there's groundkeepers. How they get treated is how we're gonna get treated. So we need to help support them because it's gonna affect all of us.
The wealth disparity between our richest and our poorest people is ever growing and the largest that it's ever been. Now is the time for labor to strike.
on campus and people aren't getting paid because you're saying that you're gonna raise tuition 16% to be able to supplement blah blah blah, but the president makes damn near $1 million a year. The football coach makes like $6 million. How the fuck is this, the football coach making $6 million a year, more than the president? Then on top of that, you say you can't pay workers. What? You have people in this goddamn economy having 2-3 jobs, still barely being able to keep it afloat, but you want to say you can't pay them? Nah, this is what we're not gonna do. This is what we're not gonna do. And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said the University of Minnesota is ableist. They don't give a fuck about their students, their staff, nothing. Why do you think they put the ASL classes all the way on fucking St. Paul campus in the basement? They don't care. They don't care about giving services to people. They don't care about being equitable. The U of M, I'm looking at you fucking side-eyed and sideways because the fact that you, one, even allowed Amy Coney Barrett to come to the school, but then you invited fucking Charlie Kirk's fucking brand to come during everything? Do you understand how your black students feel? Now they have to see fucking dumbass white people walking around campus with their stupid ass Make America Great Again hats because now it's socially acceptable again. I don't know why people are acting like we've never lived through a fucking Trump presidency, and it's really starting to piss me off. This school is a status symbol. There is nothing special about it in the first place. Yes, it's very prestigious in certain areas such as like nursing and biology and all that other bullshit, but I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. You do not have to shell out $40,000 to $70,000 a year to go to a basic ass fucking school that isn't equitable, doesn't care about you, and continues to shove it in your face that they will always pick the opposing side over actually black people. I have not seen them promoting not one thing when it comes to black culture or BSU or anything of that sort. And that tells me exactly what the fuck this school is. I knew deep down in my intuition, especially when I made the decision to switch schools, that I was going to be so much happier, even if I had to repeat my junior year. And look at me now. Look at me now. Because to even be associated with that school, why do you think the title says former student? Not alum, not whatever, former. Who cares if it's the largest fucking university in Minnesota? That don't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. Stop falling for the propaganda that you have to go to school to be able to get a career. We've seen people go to a trade school. Like, learn a fucking skill. Stop spending your time in school if school is not your thing. Go to a trade, learn how to do that, and make more money than people who are going to college for useless degrees that they're not even using just to become a server. Because I've seen it happen. I've seen servers with literal college degrees being like, I make more money serving than even an entry-level job. So why would I do the entry-level job when I can just serve? So, to all the people at the University of Minnesota, I'm praying for you. Actually, never mind, because thoughts and prayers never work. So, like I said, you don't have to fall into the propaganda that you have to go to school and then you end up drowning in debt just because you wanted to be like everybody else and flock with the rest of it. Just because you wanted to be like everybody else. Go ask how many people are actually using their college degrees and how much money they're actually making. Exactly. So, the University of Minnesota needs to get their shit together. Dead ass. Because I don't know what is going on. The Handmaid's Tale, the Charlie Kirk, the dorms flooding, people on strike. Like, what is going on at that school? Anyways, I think I've yapped enough. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, y'all.